Walk into a Rolex store in 2026 and something predictable happens. You hear most models are unavailable, but a few models seem to appear far more often than they should. The twist: the watches that are easiest to buy are the ones you must think twice about. The real story is not Rolex you cannot buy. It is Rolex you can buy easily. And why? Step inside a Rolex boutique in 2026 and the language you hear is never accidental. Floor managers have mastered a script that feels personal, but is engineered for effect. In the United States, phrases like "available today" or "can do this for you" surface with practiced ease. These words are not about transparency, they are signals, each one mapped to a specific inventory reality behind the scenes. In London or Manchester, staff lean into on the board or special order, hinting at access without ever promising it. Canadian dealers quietly mention in the back, while in Sydney, phrases like "just arrived" or "we can set it aside" create the sense of a fleeting opportunity. Mystery shop transcripts reveal these phrases are not just regional color, they are tools. Available today in New York is usually reserved for models the store is comfortable placing, not the ones with multi-year waitlists. In Toronto, in the back means the piece is ready to move, but only after you have demonstrated you are serious. United Kingdom boutiques use special order to make a cross-regional transfer sound like a privilege rather than a routine allocation shift. The effect is psychological. Dealers rarely say no. Instead, the language steers you toward what is actually in stock without ever breaking the illusion of scarcity. Phrases like "special opportunity" or "limited release" trigger urgency, even when the reference is one the market is not chasing. The result? Your decision is being shaped quietly by the words chosen at the counter. In the world of Rolex, language is not just communication, it is inventory management in disguise. Rolex's annual output now holds steady at around 1.2 million watches, a figure that once seemed unattainable, but in 2026 tells a different story. Boutiques in major markets have watched their inventory shift from the chaos of the 2021 to 2022 boom to something approaching equilibrium. The days when any steel Rolex could be flipped for a 30% premium are largely over. Instead, the secondary market is awash in models that used to be scarce, with pre-owned listings up 189% in just 3 years. The market index, once a runaway train, slipped by 0.4% in May 2024, a signal that the fever has broken. From the analyst's desk, this is not a collapse, but a correction. Dealers are no longer fighting to keep up with speculative demand. Now they are managing a new kind of scarcity, one that is selective, not universal. The showroom script has changed because the underlying economics have changed. When flippers exited and the flip premium vanished, boutiques found themselves with more stock on hand, especially in references that once seemed unobtainable. The result is a split market. A handful of icons remain untouchable, while the rest are quietly available for those who know how to ask. Boutique behavior is now shaped by incentives and inventory pressure. Staff are trained to guide buyers toward models that move quickly and protect future allocations. The language at the counter is just the surface. Underneath, it is a calculation: which references are safe to offer, which must be guarded, and which can be used to close the gap left by softer demand. The new reality is clear. Rolex is not one market, it is many, and the boutique experience is a reflection of that divide. Two-tone Rolesor models and standard Datejusts now occupy a peculiar place in the 2026 boutique script. These are the watches most likely to be offered with a smile and a hint of urgency. The phrases "available today" and "can do this for you," phrases that signal opportunity but quietly reveal a different motive. In the backrooms, managers know the numbers. A two-tone Rolesor Datejust, with its gold and steel shimmer, carries a retail price that is often 30% higher than its all-steel cousin. That difference means a dealer's commission can double or even triple on a single transaction. With the absolute margin on a Rolesor Date just 36mm reaching €600 compared to barely €200 for a steel Submariner. The volume is no accident either. Datejusts, especially in Rolesor, make up a large share of the annual allocation, up to 10% of Rolex's total output, with boutiques in the US and UK receiving the lion's share. Floor managers do not hide their logic. As one explained privately, they look more expensive, but they are not always more desired. The Datejust is the gateway. This is where many people start, and where the market often stops chasing. The dealer's comfort in offering these models is not just about supply, it is about protecting margins and moving inventory that closes quotas fast. Buyers feel the gentle nudge toward a watch that promises prestige, but the real story is economic. The showroom pitch may lean on heritage and versatility, yet the underlying push is margin-driven. Your decision is being shaped, without anyone saying it directly. Boutique staff shift quickly from the icons to lifestyle pieces, steering the conversation as soon as a collector hints at a Daytona or a steel Submariner. The Yacht-Master is the first detour, sold as a refined sport watch with a yachting pedigree and a promise of exclusivity. Yet in 2026, pre-owned Yacht-Masters carry just a 9% premium, noticeable but modest compared to the spikes seen on true icons. The pitch leans on lifestyle, never on scarcity, and inventory is quietly available for those open to the pivot. The Sky Dweller follows, framed as the sophisticated traveler's choice. Its plus 15% premium in the secondary market is driven by a handful of variants, not widespread demand. Most Sky Dwellers linger in display cases despite stories of rarity and innovation. The real advantage is that they move faster than the icons, not that they are hard to find. For first-time buyers, the Oyster Perpetual is offered as the understated classic. But non-hype dials now trade at a 2% to 4% discount, showing supply outpaces demand. In Sydney, a buyer searching for a Submariner left with a Yacht-Master, gently steered by staff, the decision shaped by what was ready to move. Daytona, Pepsi, Batman, Steel Submariner. These names rarely come up in boutique discussions, and there is a reason for that. Dealers do not need to pitch them. Demand takes care of everything. The allocation for a steel Daytona in 2026 is set at 0.3% of Rolex's global output. Wait lists in the US run 3 to 5 years, stretching even longer in Canada and Australia. On the secondary market, a new Daytona still fetches a premium of 30 to 45% over retail, with prices shifting as auction results ripple through the system. Pepsi and Batman GMT-Master II references are only slightly more available, with allocations capped at 0.4%. Wait times in major cities range from 2 to 4 years, and premiums hover between 18 and 25% above MSRP. The steel Submariner, the classic dive watch, is marginally easier to find. Only 1% of total Submariner production goes to the core steel model, and even then, demand far exceeds supply. Premiums remain steady at 22% above retail. Dealers do not need to sell these icons. Their scarcity and reputation speak for themselves, shaping the market in silence. Behind the boutique's polished counters, the real action happens on a spreadsheet. Each January, Rolex sends every dealer a confidential allocation file, rows and columns that dictate exactly how many of each reference will land in the store that year. The system is not random. High-performing boutiques, those that move the most gold or two-tone pieces, are classified as Tier A. For them, the coveted split is clear. 70% of their allocation can be high-demand icons, 30% is reserved for volume models. For smaller shops, the ratio flips. Floor managers describe 3 levers: sales performance, client tier, and inventory velocity. As one manager put it, we do not just move watches, we move up the list. When a collector asks why a steel Daytona never appears, the answer is buried in last year's numbers, not in the day's shipment. Cross-regional transfers only reinforce the system, quietly shifting surplus stock to where it is most likely to close. The spreadsheet is not just inventory, it is the script for every conversation that follows. Every buyer walks in with a dream, but the sharpest ones walk out with a plan. The most effective toolkit starts with a handful of questions. What references are actually available for immediate placement? How often does this boutique receive new allocations, and when is the next shipment due? Is there flexibility on certified pre-owned, given CPO sales have exploded by 204% in the past year? The timing matters. Q1 and Q2 remain the prime windows for fresh allocation, when stores are flush with new inventory and more likely to say yes. One buyer in Toronto, armed with these questions, bypassed a 6-month wait by pivoting to a CPO Datejust, full warranty, same showroom, no list. As the saying goes, in today's market, getting a Rolex is easy. Getting the right Rolex is not. In today's market, getting a Rolex is easy. Getting the right Rolex is not. The watch you're offered says as much about market psychology as personal taste. Your decision is being shaped quietly every time you walk into the boutique. The real luxury is knowing the difference.